Resistance to change is the act of struggling or opposing to changes to the status quo. So, in other words, it's resistance to being taken out of your comfort zone. So, anytime there's change, there's going to be some sort of resistance, especially when there's more than one person involved, such as an organization or a team. So, resistance to change can be overcome by many methods, but what causes resistance in the first place? So, I have a few examples here. I was working at a hardware store that sold building materials to construction companies, and one day they decided to replace all their current devices that were used for sales, and replacing these devices caused a fierce resistance among employees. So it was eventually overcome once employees became experienced in new devices, so mastered them, learned how to use them about as well as the old devices that they'd been using for years. But why this whole resistance in the first place? Well, basically, it boils down to they were taken out of their comfort zone quite suddenly, in fact. They didn't have confidence in their leaders. They felt that they were just shoved in the deep end without much training. I remember right before it happened, right before the shift started, our manager showed us real quick how the device works, and then it was like, okay, have fun with your 8-hour shift. Good luck. And, you had to deal with the same amount of customers or more. It was a summer, and everyone's trying to build their terraces or what have you. So, how could this situation have been avoided? Well, in my opinion, anyway, they could have used training sessions, a longer one, at least a few hours to really get the ins and outs. And, yeah. So, while resistance to change happens in a group environment, as the previous example, it also presents itself on a personal level as well. So, I'm sure many of us can relate when I say that changing our habits can be really hard. So, a classic example of personal change is sleep schedules. So, how many times have you tried to change your sleep schedule? You have to wake up, say, a few hours, or even in a bad case, many hours earlier the next morning or in a few days, and you go to bed early thinking, okay, I'll just, I have to wake up 3 hours earlier, so I'll just go to bed 3 hours earlier, and it just doesn't work. You end up tossing and turning in bed, and when you finally fall asleep and wake up, you're still exhausted, and it's just mentally taxing. It's our body's kind of resisting this change in status quo, which is the current sleep schedule, or lack thereof, of course. So, another example would be our body's resisting change when we do, for example, working out. So, I'm sure a lot of folks, every New Year's they say, I'm gonna try to get fit, and then about a week later they're burned out and they give up. Either they hit the gym too hard or they otherwise lose motivation. So it just goes to show how it's not only, especially for fitness, it's not only mentally exhausting, but physically exhausting as well. So it's almost this double whammy, and it hits you in both ways, and it's too much for most people. And I guess just to give some advice for that, take it slow, start small. Don't have to hit the gym and go hard immediately. Doesn't work for most people. Not everyone is so good at adapting and adding to our routine. Just this whole fitness thing. But these examples really just go to show how change is hard and resistance is natural. And people are creatures of habit, so we all struggle when we need to adapt to change. And well, thank you.